Hello, and welcome to Two Guys One Podcast with me, Matt Shepherd, and also today with me is Sam Bolton. Sam,
Hello.
how are you doing?
Hello. Nolan,
How you been?
I'm good, mate. How's lockdown?
Yeah, it's been good and it's been bad. I think it's definitely taught you some things. How to be a better human being. I think.
Yeah.
I think
you have to. Don't you?
I think it's definitely
What
taught
else is
you.
there to think about? To be fair,
some
you can't
different
think about
things.
anything else.
Yeah, I know. I mean, stuck in your house for 3 to 4 months does get quite boring at times. How have you been? How have you been coping in lockdown?
Good, mate. I've just literally been focused on mainly fitness and, to be fair, understanding this. The whole lockdown situation makes you really understand what's important to you, and I think family is obviously an important thing, but also just the freedom that you had when lockdown wasn't a thing. So you could go play football with your mates, go to restaurants, stuff like that. Just enjoying the little things like that it does realise what sort of impact something like this does have on people, especially the older generation as well, where they have to be super careful, and especially people with certain disabilities that will be affected by this. Was it 12 weeks or something? Some people had to stay inside. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean,
That's absolutely crazy.
It's still going on, isn't it? Like some of it.
Yeah.
Obviously not as much, but it is still here. So how are you missing? I'm guessing you're missing five-a-side quite a lot, because obviously it used to be every Thursday night at 9:00.
Well, that's the whole thing of making sure you keep fit. You can see all like Joe Wicks doing these fitness PE lessons or whatever for the kids, and Tyson Fury doing his Instagram live workouts every morning 9 a.m. I think he's finished them now, but that's the sort of thing that you need to keep doing to keep yourself fit, to keep your mental state intact almost. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
So keeping yourself fit does have almost a positive effect on your mind, never mind your physical attributes. But yeah, I think having this lockdown situation and only seeing a few people that you live with, obviously, and then not being in contact with the public, I think it's going to be different when everybody comes back. I don't think people are going to be the same. I think everybody's going to be a little bit more careful. Although then then there's like parties and raves and whatever, illegal raves happening all around at the moment, which is a bit of a joke. Because some of us actually want to go to Nando's.
And Nando's doing delivery at the minute? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I hope so. I might actually have a look online later on, because I'm missing Nando's.
Butterfly chicken, peri salted chips, some garlic bread.
Garlic bread?
Garlic bread, yeah. The garlic bread's quite nice.
What I get, my Nando's, I either get double chicken wrap, medium, has to be medium. I think lemonade a bit too. I think medium's the right spice. If you get hot, you're just a pervert. You're weird. And I think if you get plain and you just get ketchup. I know one of our mates who gets plain and just 2 sides of chips. You're 20, 21, 22. You're not 12 anymore.
Experimenting what you eat.
Yeah, I'm proper shouting him out here, but but yeah, I won't say his name just because he knows who he is. But I love Nando's. I either get the wrap. What was I saying? The wrap or the chicken thighs in a medium spice. I like the spicy rice as well. The spicy rice is class. Mashed potatoes good as well. I don't know. It depends what mood I'm in, to be honest.
Whatever mood you'll get something different. Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. I've been missing just going for having food out and things like that. I mean, we got a takeaway from Uno Momento a couple of weeks ago, and to be fair, the food was banging and it came on time, so you can't really complain. Yeah, so we made it order for 6:00 and it came dead on. So I mean, you can't really complain at that. And
what did you get?
It's just like eating out, isn't it? You're just eating at home. Parmo, of course.
Chicken parmo.
Chicken
parmo. The people that aren't from up north, it's basically chicken, breaded, bechamel sauce and cheese, melted.
It's basically heaven on the plate. If you just want to put it in simple terms, it's heaven on the plate.
Heaven on a Plate. I'm sure is that a song?
It is.
I don't know.
Could be.
That should
Might
be a
be
song.
now.
Heaven on a Plate.
Heaven on a Plate.
We'll make a track called Heaven on a Plate just for you and your Palmos.
2020 was the podcast. 2021 will be an album.
I know. Yes. What's it going to be called? Uno Momento album or whatever. I don't know.
Too many chicken parmos.
Too many chicken parmos. Oh, well. Anyway, back to fitness. Now we've talked about parmos. Gyms, they're not opening for a while, are they? Let's be honest. I don't think gyms are going to open for a very long time. Especially considering Leicester is back on lockdown now.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that the gyms aren't really reopening. Obviously, the pubs are coming back this weekend. So big up to the pubs that are reopening.
I don't think the pub should be opening, especially on a Saturday. I mean, I work in a pub part-time at the moment whilst I'm at university. I think opening on a Saturday is the craziest and the most stupid thing the government has ever done, because everybody's off. Well, not everybody. Most people are off work. Everybody wants a drink in the pub. Everybody loves a drink in the pub with their mates, don't we? You can't say you don't love it. Even if you don't drink, you just love hanging around your mates in the pub, having a good time.
Yeah.
People are going to do that, and they're going to take the mick, aren't they? They're just going to get drunk, and then how are you going to socially distance with someone, especially if you work there and you're trying to kick them out almost because they're too drunk? How are you going to? You can't physically, like. They just won't have any. It's like a toddler. They don't have a clue about social distancing, do they?
No.
It's exactly the same situation, I think. I think it's a stupid thing. He could have done it on a Monday. Why does he done every other thing on a Monday, hasn't he? He's introduced whatever on the lockdown restrictions going down and stuff like that on Mondays. But why is the pub opening on a Saturday? I think he's just trying to get the most alcohol tax that he can. Government, to be honest.
Profitability is probably the main thing.
Yep.
I mean, the main thing I don't.
Money.
Yeah, I mean, it is all about the money for the government, really. But that's what they've said. I do understand they do need to reopen the economy, because it couldn't go on like the way it was.
Yeah.
Obviously, gyms aren't reopening. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff in the press this week about the tracking, testing. What it's called, tracking test and track. One of the two.
Trace.
I don't really understand how that's going to work.
Test and trace.
Yeah, trace. Yeah, tracking. That's it. Yeah.
Tracking, testing. That could be one of the songs in the album. Yeah. I love that.
So I don't really understand how that's going to work at the moment, because there seems to be. I read somewhere that it's up to the pubs how they're going to do it. So if you look at how a pub has the systems to do it, and you look how a gym has, every time you go into a gym, you have to put some. I mean, the gym I go to, you have to put your passcode in, and you can then track how long you've been in the gym that day. So I would understand their testing system would be better, but obviously in a gym you are more. You're using equipment like dumbbells and things like that.
Yeah, you're touching more things in a gym, aren't you? The whole thing with a pub is that you can be 1 or 2 meters away from a different household / bubble. You can. It is possible. But in a gym, I keep hitting my mic. Oops. But in a gym, if you're waiting for someone to finish with one of the equipment, you're going to be touching that equipment straight after them. So it's all about how you're going to stay clean in the gym, especially if you're doing running on a treadmill, for example. You're going to be breathing a lot. You're going to be heavy breathing, and then that's how things are passed around, isn't it? Through like breath and touch and stuff. It's all of that sort of stuff. So I can't imagine people running on a treadmill with a mask on at the moment.
No,
I think that's I think they should just open maybe certain things in the gym. Maybe not the dumbbell area, because that area's like you can't really keep that clean. Maybe the machines, there's Smith machines. I think the Smiths, Smiths, where you've got like certain points. Say if you're doing the shoulder press, you're only holding like these 2 little handles, aren't you? And then pushing up. So it's easily to clean that. Well, and obviously exactly. the weight changer. I don't know, to be honest. It's
just trying to get into a way of how they're going to clean everything. I know in pubs it'll be easier because they can wash the glasses thoroughly with like the equipment they've got. For gyms, they'll just have to use hand wipes, and you have to have a certain level of hand wipes, don't you, to be a certain level of bacteria killing hand wipes.
Also, a thing with pubs. Can I just say, how on earth do they expect, for example, a waiter to put someone's food down 1 meter away? how long do they think people's arms are? I'm not being
they'll
funny.
They'll have to get a fishing rod, right? Like, you know when them.
I say they just get a trolley and then just like slowly like throw it, roll it towards them, and then that table has to catch the trolley and then just dish it out themselves. Have you seen that video? I'll have to find it. It's something like I can't remember. It was a video where this lass had got this guy a pint, sorry, and there it is here. So he's ordered a pint, and he, because it's socially distancing, she's having to throw the pint at him, and he's like, "Oh, all right, nice one, cheers, love." I think that's what they should do. No, that they obviously can't, but I don't know. I think it's a bit stupid. So look, there we go. Sky News: Britons are expected to spend £210 million in pubs when they reopen this weekend. This weekend. I mean,
it's definitely going to be an expensive weekend for well, it's going to be an expensive weekend for the pubs. Because they still won't be operating at full capacity, will they? So obviously the running cost of that will still take it down a bit.
I think people will start making up though. They'll make up for the amount of time they've lost, so they will drink quicker and faster and more.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to work, and I don't know how effective it will work either.
Some pubs are doing this booking system. They're doing a booking system, some pubs, and then Wetherspoons just first come first serve, and then there's some other pubs doing first come first serve as well, which I don't really understand how's that going to work. But I mean, if they're not coming in for food, then they're just coming in for drink, aren't they? There's nothing else you want to go for a pub for, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. But then the whole thing of opening this, is this too soon? Because Leicester, obviously, we've talked about that going back to lockdown.
Yeah, they're in a pretty bad situation, aren't they, at the minute?
And then this whole new coronavirus, not coronavirus, like a different virus coming from pigs in China. That's a new thing that came out the other day about pigs. I just get the vision of a load of pigs running around China with a virus and all the Chinese people going, run!
It sort of reminds you like a Simpsons movie, doesn't it? You know, that pig in the Simpsons movie. The Simpsons seem to be predicting so much. It's so weird. It's scary, isn't it? It is scary how some of the predictions are coming true, obviously.
What was 9/11? Was it? Oh no, was that one? Was 9/11 one?
Possibly. I know they predicted Donald Trump, didn't they?
Yeah, they predicted Donald Trump.
They predicted Trump coming down that escalator or coming up the escalator, either way.
Look on Twitter. Let's see
that was
prediction. Yeah, we got Donald Trump. What's this? Simpsons predict exit because. There we go, Donald Trump. I don't think he's dead though, is he? Mhm. But yeah, Simpsons are in loads, absolutely loads. You can't really name them all. They did. I think they did coronavirus. I think there was some sort of virus they did talk about or stuff like that. But yeah, I think is that a coincidence or are people that smart? Do you know what I mean?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
How can they be that smart though? How can you predict something? I could say you could understand why Donald Trump has become president. To be honest, I can understand why people may have thought that, like in the future, or because if you think about it, Americans are not full, but most Americans are above the age of 40, white, and want to make America great again. Do you know what I mean? That sort of people. I think Trump's jumped on the bandwagon of I need to make these people my friends, and then they will vote me into presidency. Do you know what I mean?
Americans, I don't understand how they voted Trump in.
So,
I don't understand it. The man is literally.
You don't understand it?
Well, I understand why they vote for him because they see something in him which I don't. But it just bewilders me to see how they can some of the stuff in the past weeks that have come out against him. I mean, did you see Iran yesterday have put out an international arrest warrant for Donald Trump?
Who did?
Iran.
Really?
Yeah, they did yesterday. Yesterday or the day before.
That's crazy, isn't it? Yes,
I mean,
I
it's
think
not gonna.
Donald Trump is a very manipulative person. When I was in New York last summer, I walked past Trump Towers, and you can tell when someone's a bit full of themselves when they've got about 40 odd paintings of themselves in the lobby.
Mm-hmm.
So you walk in, you'd want to take a lot of nice photos because everything's gold and it looks pretty, but you walk in and Donald Trump's face is everywhere. You think, what the hell's going on? It's like some sort of horror film. Horror film.
Like his Trump's hairline's failing off.
Mm. But yeah. So, anyway, this is our first podcast. So, any questions and stuff, give them answers, and we'll answer them hopefully in the next podcast. On Saturdays, we're going to do some podcasts, aren't we, with some friends, maybe some football podcasts, sports podcasts. We're literally just going to talk some general rubbish, aren't we, Matty? We've got nothing else to do. We've got nothing else to talk about. We love doing this. I love doing this. So follow our Instagram and stuff like that. Any other topics that you want to talk about, Shep? Have you seen anything on the news? You want to ask me questions? Anything? I don't know.
I would say let's. I mean, obviously, the one that's in the topic at the minute is racism, isn't it? I mean, the
racism.
Black Lives Matter has been a massive thing in the past. Well, racism is a massive matter, and I mean, to deal with it, it needs to be set out from when you're from. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's an article being released today. I haven't read it, so I can't really comment on it. But it's something about something to do with football and racism. And obviously that is a big part. You can see. I mean, Raheem Sterling's been racially abused, hasn't he, a couple of times?
Yeah, what game was that in? Was that I think that was Bulgaria, wasn't it, in the Euro qualifiers, where Raheem Sterling they had to stop the game 2 or 3 times, and some of the stewards had to kick out some of like the Bulgarian massives. You know what I mean?
I think it's just a joke, to be honest. I mean, it needs to be dealt with.
At this point, how we are a world full of different people, and there's no way there's one race that is supreme, and it shouldn't be that way if it is. You know what I mean?
Because it's easier to hate than it is to. It's easier to hate than love.
I think just be nice and stop. It's not enough. What was it? Someone said it, and it massive stuff on Twitter. I think it was one of the polls, like the YouTubers.
Yeah.
People with about 20 million followers. He said something that I actually quite thought was quite good. As he said, it's not enough to be anti-racist. It's not enough to not be racist. You have to be anti-racist. Does that make sense? So just saying, "Oh, I'm not racist," it's not good enough, really. You have to be against racism. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the way it's come out, I think the way with everything's come out, and obviously about the unfortunate killing of like George Floyd, that was horrible. And you need to hold these people responsible for what the crimes they've done. It's like, I mean, there was a video of one of the officers that was actually out on bail, and someone in a shop like confronted him. They should, because they shouldn't be out on the streets. Yeah. Like police shouldn't get away with it.
I don't understand the police department. How have they not realised that? I don't know exactly the statistics, so don't quote me on this, but the police officer that killed George Floyd, he had previously, I think, murdered some other people as well, black people, and then they got away with it. So it's something ridiculous like that. I can't remember exactly the stuff, but being in a police department full of law enforcement officers, why are they not clocking on with these certain people in the police force that are racist, that will target different people? Why are they not clocking on? Why have they not realised and gone through the past and thought, hang on a minute, this man has done this 3 times already. Why are we not having a chat about him? Do you know what I
mean? Yeah, I think there is definitely good cops out there. Not everyone is a bad cop. But obviously at the moment, there is more bad cops than good cops. Like, you can see from the news that when the protests were happening, and they are still happening now, it's just not been talked about as often because the news outlets have just hidden it, really. But there's still videos on Twitter and things like that, and they need to keep campaigning, because it shouldn't just go away in a week or a month. It should be 365 days a year. Keep continuing to protest against racism. Because I mean, if you look at Trump, he did not help himself.
Why does he keep calling it the China virus? By the way, why is nobody talking about that? Do you notice that he keeps on talking about the Chinese virus? I mean, it is from China and stuff like that, but it's a bit like
he's an idiot, isn't he?
Full blame on the whole of China when it isn't the whole of China. Do you know what I mean?
Obviously, it comes from China, but I mean, you can't blame every Chinese person for
exactly.
Because then that turns it's racism, isn't it? You can't have a go at a Chinese person so you cause this virus
because you're Chinese.
You just can't do it. It's. I mean, we don't know how it's come about, do we? I mean, they say it's from the markets and things like that, which is something the governments of China need to look into definitely, because that is wrong.
Well, this whole pig thing as well. It comes from an abattoir. So it's like the second virus has come from an abattoir, which is the source of meat around this certain area or wherever in China. So whoever's been in contact with this meat might have this virus. We don't know. We don't know where it's come from. We don't know who's got it. So it's this whole thing of cleaning. I think it's just cleanliness. Just calm down and clean everything, please, and just check before you eat. However, with poverty, that's a big problem. It's dead hard in poverty, isn't it? There's no way you can do all that. It's just.
I know.
It's a different world. We can't fully understand and fully talk about it without actually knowing or being there. But from our point of view, we understand that it is hard to overcome poverty, and I say I'm quite privileged. I've got everything that I need, really. I've got a perfect family, perfect life. I feel sorry for people who, like Chinese, feel the need to sell bats just to earn money, and it is a bit weird over there as well, to be fair. But yeah, it's a different world. We don't know. We don't really know.
Yeah, definitely. I think we are privileged in what we have, and I think the biggest part is needing to understand what's going on around the world. I mean, I know last year I was thinking about going to Cambodia, around that area to do some travelling. Obviously, it didn't happen. But that would have, I think, opened my eyes to see what other people living like. Because you only see the UK especially. If you go around the UK, you only get that mindset of what's happening in this country. You don't get the mindset of what's happening in China and other places like that, in Africa especially.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely on the cards. I definitely want to do that and look at going travelling just to see what it's like and see if you can help.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like giving some money
trying to understand
charities.
Something will help.
Yeah. Anything at all.
And who did you want? Was it Olney or something you wanted to go with?
Yeah. We're going to go with Olney, but trying to get holidays booked off and things like that. It's a bit of a nightmare.
So it'll be a nightmare now.
Well, yeah, I won't be going till for a while. Let's say.
No.
Extended vacation. I think the only place I'll be going to is the lakes.
Well, I've got a trip to Jersey, the end of July.
All right. Okay.
So it's not been cancelled, obviously, because it's still in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I need to quarantine for 2 weeks afterwards either. So the only thing worrying me about Jersey is if the hotel or whatever is open, where will we stay?
Right. Yeah.
And the plane journey, that's huge. It's like breathing the same air in all the time, isn't it? That's going to be. But I don't know, if someone's got it on a plane, though, you're a bit bucketed because you're just going to breathe in what they're breathing in.
I think that's to try and keep social distance as possible. I know it's now like 1 metre plus, isn't it? So it's not as bad. You don't have to.
You see these people with all these masks on, but they don't have the masks on around the mouths and nose. They put it around just the mouths, so then the nose is still out. Or they have it like down under your chin, and yet they're still talking to people. So what are you doing? Why have you got a mask on? Just put it on properly, please. It's like they're trying to be helpful, but they're not. It's just so embarrassing.
Yeah, I think it's been difficult during lockdown. I think for a lot of people, just because of all the guidelines that have come out, and then once what's his name? Dominic Cummings. That's the one. Dominic Cummings. Once he broke lockdown we say broke lockdown rules. He did break it, didn't he? I mean, in terms of legally,
he didn't break the legal rules, but I think he broke the moral rules.
Yeah, I think he broke both, in my opinion. There was no need to travel all the way up to the room area
you could have found someone else. They can't have been that bad if they're like, well, I don't know the full story, but they can't be that bad if they're all right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I know. Why did he even travel up there? Is to get childcare for what? Why did he need childcare?
Childcare because he and his wife had coronavirus. I think they had coronavirus symptoms, so their first point of call was to look after the child, which I don't really have a problem with, because that's obviously your first instinct to look after your kid. But the way they went about it, surely there must be someone in London that could have looked after their kid, like Howie. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like,
yeah, the wife had family in London. I remember hearing that.
The funniest bit for me was his explanation of his 30-minute drive to Barnard Castle. He said, I needed to test my eyesight. Like, come on.
With the kids in the car.
Give over. Come on.
I'm just gonna test my driving to see if I'm able to drive nice and safely. I'm not too sure if I can. I might crash. I might kill myself or whatever. But I'm just gonna make sure the kids are strapped in at the back. They'll be all right.
I don't understand it. It just doesn't make sense, does it? Like.
Now it'll happen against that. Now everybody will forgot it now.
No. He's protected, isn't he? Like if something was to happen, it would have happened by now. It happened like when he was in like the media don't really report it anymore because it's an old story. But he definitely got some backlash from it. And he should have gone, in my opinion. But clearly didn't feel it was as bad as what he thought it.
Then it's the whole thing of I read something about if he did leave if Boris Johnson did fire him, then Dominic Cummings got something against Boris Johnson, like something that he can reveal about Boris Johnson. It was like a conspiracy saying Boris doesn't want to get rid of Dominic Cummings because he has got something that Boris doesn't want him to release. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting.
I think
thinking about it.
There is a lot of.
Then you got that whole thing in America as well about the Epsteins and Donald Trump being friends with Epstein and that. That is mental.
That recently is absolutely like blown my mind.
Have you seen it on Netflix?
I haven't seen the documentary. I want to watch it, but I've seen like the stuff that came out to say that Trump was involved with it, and some dodgy things going on there.
Dodgy business, yeah, definitely.
I think they have to definitely.
Well, I watched the first episode and a half or something like that, and it's weird how the police don't do anything about it until a couple of cases come up. Do you know what I mean? So it is difficult for the police officer to come into. It shouldn't be difficult, but it is. This guy with so much money and so much political presence, and that they're scared to question him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean.
So, because he's friends with Donald Trump, because he's got all this money, because he's friends with the President of the United States, all this stuff, the police be like, "What you're on about? Of course he's not doing that. Have you seen? Do you know who he is? Have you seen him?" But obviously he was, and he's been locked up, and he killed himself in jail, which is a load of bollocks. I think someone's killed him, but
yeah. So
but there's a lot more to that story than people are letting on. Definitely.
Just hopefully it all comes out in the end, and the people who are responsible for these horrible crimes are held to it and get the punishment they deserve.
Yeah.
I mean, something like that. If Trump was lying. So much backstage politics around that. Anyway, moving on. Have you been watching the UFC recently? UFC been doing like weekly shows, haven't they, on Saturday nights?
I've watched a few, not much. I've been watching some of the highlights on YouTube and stuff. I watched Mike Perry and his girlfriend defeat the world. I watched Dustin Poirier versus Daniel Hook, I think his name is.
Yeah,
that was
Daniel
a good fight. And I think that was the only one I watched. The two I watched from the last one. The other ones were a bit. That big Russian lad who is in heavyweight. I can't remember, is it Volkarov or something? He fought the other week and lost against. What's the black lad called? Oh, what's he called? He's absolutely class. I'm gonna have to get him up. UFC. Oh. UFC results. I think he fought 2 weeks ago. Where we go on here? That one there. Blades, Curtis Blades. He's class. He is class.
Oh yeah, Curtis Blades
Against
did what?
Volkov.
He did the most takedowns in UFC history or something. Was it 14? Something like 14 takedowns in the whole fight.
That's mental.
He was on the roll.
That is crazy. You know, someone who I really like in the UFC is Amanda Nunes. She's world class. She just doesn't give a damn. There you go. That's Dan Hooker and Dustin Poirier there. Yeah, that was a good fight. They battled it out like hell. Mike Perry obviously beat Gall with his wife. Well, not literally with his wife. You know what I mean?
Well, the UFC have been. I think Dana White's been doing like a good job, to be fair, in putting the fights on.
I think so. Then this one is this happening Sunday the 12th?
I think there's one this
so
Sunday, and the big one's after, isn't it?
So is there not one tomorrow night then? No, there mustn't be one tomorrow night. Interesting.
They've been putting on good
so
shows.
One on
Sunday,
most of the fights and then they got one on Thursday. He's just fought, hasn't he, Carter? I'm sure he's fought recently.
A lot.
Oh, I know.
A lot of
think
these
I've
fights
seen him on YouTube.
Are taking short fights, though, aren't they? Like.
Yeah. Do you know? Once someone's about to fight, they'll get like a free fight posted on YouTube, won't they?
Mhm.
So like Frankie Edgar here, and bantamweight. Sorry, I'll just put my drink down. He was fighting. I think it was Korean Zombie. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was something like that. And that was a free fight just posted on YouTube the other day. So we've got that one. That's on the 16th of July. We've got this one that was just this happening in 2 weeks' time. A week's time. Week on Saturday. Usman, that'll be class. Max Holloway, what a fighter. Jan, what a fighter. Jose Aldo, that's a class fighter. I think I've got a bet on this one actually. I think I've got Jessica to win. Jose Aldo, Max Holloway, and Holloway, and Kamaru Usman to win.
Some good fights, definitely. Some good fights coming up.
Yeah. Let's have a look what else we got. Really good.
What do you make of McGregor in his retirement, or his second retirement now? But I don't think he's going to stay retired personally.
I think he might because his business is booming. You can see him on Instagram. He's got the clothing line. He's got Proper 12. He's got obviously his career money from UFC and from boxing from Mayweather. Will he come back? I think he'll come back when the money's right.
Yeah. I think a lot of UFC fighters in a minute are asking for big money, aren't they? I know there's Masvidal, there's Nate Diaz. It's difficult, isn't it? Because the UFC, McGregor, I would say McGregor he was really starting to he made the UFC big again, didn't he? All of his fights.
I think he brought the passion from being a joker.
Yeah, the showmanship was definitely there, wasn't it? The way he acted and the way he got into people's heads was something different. The mind games, especially on Jose Aldo.
That was mental.
Aldo looked defeated once he went into the fight, didn't he? Really. Just hope. I do hope McGregor comes back because he's a good fighter and obviously he did get sort of destroyed by Khabib.
He's just wrestling game. Khabib was just wrestle. Although he did knock him down, he did knock McGregor down, so he has got fists. I don't think Conor was really thinking about Khabib throwing. He was thinking about, I need to defend these takedowns, and then obviously Khabib being Khabib, an absolute mentalist, has just run at him, punched him in the face, and then dropped Conor, and everybody was like, "What is happening? This guy is insane."
Yeah.
Because if you look at Conor's past fights, he does love a good brawl, Conor, but I think he was a bit scared of Khabib. I'm not gonna lie. I think he was.
It's difficult to say, isn't it? Because McGregor, you wouldn't really think McGregor's scared. I think in terms of what.
I think scared was the wrong word there because I think they had a lot of bad blood between each other.
Yeah, a lot of bad blood from what McGregor was saying.
Quite a lot, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, the police were involved, weren't they?
There was the bus incident. That was something different.
That was fun. Not fun. I wasn't there. That was funny. It was a bit savage, like, to be fair. I didn't realise he was actually going to do it. But then watching the videos was a bit like, geez, these guys actually hate each other.
Yeah. Full on bad blood.
Yeah. But we'll talk a bit more about UFC on Saturdays. Hopefully we'll get some uploaded before, maybe not every UFC fight night, because some of them just people that we don't really watch, don't really follow. But for example, which is the next one that's coming up? It is on the 12th, is it? Yeah, that's the one I've got open there. So that's got not that one, that one. Kamaru Usman, huge. Burns, huge. Holloway, Burns, everybody like that. We'll talk about them. We'll get a couple of guests in. That'll be good on a Saturday. A couple of beers, and maybe once lockdown's finished, hopefully, if we don't end up like Leicester, we can have like a live podcast with the boys.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Get the Stiller out.
Do something like that. A couple of beers.
Yeah, sounds good.
A couple of boys.
Have you been...
It's like a normal night in for you.
Have you been watching any football recently? I mean, obviously the football's been back.
Well, yeah, Liverpool. Congratulations on winning the league. Some of the boys will be happy about that. Some of them won't. Liam.
It's different.
He won't be happy. His dad will be happy. His dad will be happy.
It's different watching football with no fans. I think. To be honest, I really don't mind. Because as much as it is good with the fans in the stadium noise that's in the background, I don't think it's that bad. I quite enjoy. I don't enjoy it.
Oh, I don't like it.
It's actually
I
alright
don't
to listen
like it.
to.
No. It's the worst thing invented.
I think it's
what a load of
it's
rubbish.
worse. So you would prefer to watch it with no crowd sounds?
Yeah, but then I think it's more. It's what annoys me is when someone has a shot and then the crowd noise comes like as the ball's getting kicked from the keeper. You know what I mean? It's like complete 2 minutes after. Do you know what I mean? That just annoys me so much. Where the ball kicks and then this guy who's watching the game. Do you reckon they've got it on like a slider where as soon as it comes close to the goal, everybody's like, oh, and it goes up like this, like a slider, and then if someone scores, they'll click a button where the crowd goes wild. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, possibly.
But I think the guy who's doing it needs quicker reactions because the crowd's talking about something, going way about something 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That just annoys me.
It is quite funny at times. No, but to be fair, it's nice to see football back. No, Bundesliga came back first. Was it Bundesliga? I think came back first.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, all the teams are back playing. Obviously, there's been some fun and games along the way. I mean, Liverpool obviously.
Arsenal.
The league is,
what's going on there? Olney. What's going on there?
Arsenal just shambolic.
And they've given David Luiz an extra year contract.
I don't know who is in charge of their transfer. Arteta's in charge of their transfer policy.
What a brilliant choice.
There's something wrong.
Do you reckon he's get quite close with somebody high up in Arsenal? Do you know what I mean?
David Luiz.
Yeah. Do you reckon he's working his way up?
To be fair,
getting a bit friendly with the owners. You know what I mean?
I don't think they're over there. David Luiz, I don't rate him as a defender.
I don't see the why people would want to keep David Luiz. To be fair, because I think he's past his prime now. He used to be world class, didn't he? I mean, his free kicks were amazing. But ever since that 7-1 or 7-2 loss against Germany in the World Cup a couple of years ago, he's just gone downhill, hasn't he?
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, could have had the Euros this summer, couldn't we? Could have had the
Euros. Yeah. That would have been. Would that been finished by now? 30 years ago.
No, I don't think it would have been because I think the Euros would have kicked off 2 weeks ago. So yeah, that would have been a good summer, wouldn't it? Having the Euros here. Well, not Euros here. I think was the final supposed to be at Wembley? Was that right? Because it was going to be a European.
At Wembley, alright. I didn't realise it would be at Wembley.
I think some of the game, I don't know, maybe, but I think Euros have been a good.
I think we would have done well. I think we would have done really well. Our team at that point of qualifying for the Euros, we had so much confidence coming from the World Cup. We had so much confidence coming from the actual qualifiers themselves, beating, I mean, not the best of teams, but beating them comfortably, weren't they? Chemistry was there, and everybody's got a little bit fatter now after lockdown.
I think our team has definitely got better.
Did you see Harry Kane? He's got a little beer belly on now, hasn't he?
Oh, they're all put some weight on during lockdown. It's just inevitable, isn't it? Like, not every footballer's going to be working out every day. There's just to be streaming on Twitch.
It's interesting to see, because these guys are known for being top athletes, like some of the best fitness-wise people. They are normal. They are just normal people, aren't they? There's a lot of stuff underlying athletes at the moment where they think that they're just robots. Why can't you do this? Why can't you do it? You're supposed to do it. It's your job. But they're just like us. They've got mental health. They've got fitness. They've got family. They've got parties. They've got birthday parties. They've got all these stuff to go through as well. But yeah, it's just interesting to see the reality or real side of people, like Harry Kane, for example, putting a little bit of weight on. Obviously, he's just a normal person. He's just one of us, isn't he, really? Except for he's got a Ferrari and I've got a Seat.
Big difference right there.
Yeah.
Big difference. Yeah, I think it'd be quite good to understand what a footballer goes through every day. I mean, you don't really see it, do you? You just see the professional side of every game, and you just see that. Do you remember Eric Dyer when he went into the Tottenham stands and started not fighting but like
because
having a go at some
didn't
fans?
Someone punch his brother or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think there was an altercation or something along the lines of that. So that was quite interesting to see how a football player, and Eric Dyer, I mean, fair play to him. He's protecting his family. So
well, he scored the winning goal against Colombia penalty shootouts, didn't he?
Yeah, that was some penalty shootout. I think when Trippier scored that free kick against.
Yeah, that was crazy. Everybody went wild.
That was my summer.
Where were you when that happened? When that went in, where were you?
Trippier's free kick. I was just at home watching it with my dad. I always watch football with the World Cup.
I think I was at the Woolen Mill, the pub.
I think it was it not Colombia.
Croatia.
What was the quarter-final game?
Sweden.
No, Sweden. That was it. No, Sweden was Sweden.
Sweden was quarter.
Yeah, Sweden. I think the quarter-final for the Sweden game. I think I went. We go
so
to
it went
pub for that one.
Colombia, penalties, and then we first Sweden, and then we went Croatia, and then lost. That's what happened.
Yeah. But I think we put our best effort in. Semi-finals is not bad, is it, really, for an England team that
2-1 we lost.
2-1, I think, yeah. Perisic.
Then we beat them though. A couple of what tournament was it?
Nations League.
That was it. Yeah, we beat them 2-0, I think, something like that.
It was an interesting tournament, to say the least.
I think they wanted.
I don't know. I
think we just got a bit tired, and I don't know what happened in that. To be honest, we just got a bit complacent. Is the word? I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say that definitely. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what can you do, eh? Well, we've always got the next couple of World Cups on the way with this same football team. I don't think, unless the young ones like, where's Williams from? What Williams from Man United? Is he English, or is he Welsh or something?
I think he's Welsh. I don't want to fully commit to that being Welsh, but I think he's definitely Welsh.
They won't. I don't think they'll get into this England squad for a long time. I mean, Foden was world class the other weekend, wasn't he?
Oh, Foden's. There's certain England footballers that are at the age of like 20, 21 that you can tell are going to be in the first team. Higher on, like, I don't know. I mean, Foden. Foden for a start. I think you need to put them in there for experience, because if you're going to like in the World Cup, like 4 years time, if you're going to give him his first like World Cup cap, he needs to be experienced.
What do you think will happen with the World Cup now? Because the Euros is getting postponed. Is it going to be next year, the Euros, I think?
Yeah, so the Euros is supposed to be next year now.
So and then the year after that is the World Cup again? Because it was 2018.
Possibly, yeah.
It was the World Cup, wasn't it? So it's 4 years from that's 2022. Next year's 2021. So you'll have a Euros and then a World Cup straight after it as well. interesting.
We'll have to wait and see what happens in terms of that. It should be an interesting to see what the plan is for everything. Some exciting times coming up.
We'll have a podcast on if we're still here.
If we're still here.
If we haven't, yeah, I will be here.
Podcast 2022.
Coronavirus haven't got us, touch wood. Or that pig flu or whatever it is.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. I think
we've got big fights next year as well as the Euros. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Dylan White, Deontay Wilder.
I think Joshua probably going to lose to Fury. I'm not. I think
Fury will outbox him.
I think it'll go distance, that fight. I think it'll go the 12 rounds, and I think Fury will win.
Well, thinking about it, Joshua's cardio is not as good as Fury's. Let's be honest, it's not. For a big muscly man with all this muscle that needs a load of oxygen, he is going to tire. Joshua will tire during that fight, and I think Tyson Fury will wait for that, and he'll jump on it.
You say that, but you look back at Klitschko fight and AJ versus Klitschko, and you look at that fight and you think, well, he did it there, didn't he? I mean, he went, 11 round? He finished in the 11th round against Klitschko. Yeah. I mean, I think Fury's a better boxer than Klitschko, but
yeah, that's what I was going to say. And I think Fury will be a little bit more careful because Anthony just carry that power, maybe not power like Deontay Wilder, but he has knocked nearly all of his fights out, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Although he lost to a big fat man, so.
Yeah. Interesting fighter, definitely. I think it'd be hard to call, but I think Fury edges it. Just I don't know.
Isn't
how it ends.
Dylan White just been announced to fight what's his name? Povetkin or something. Was it Povetkin? The Russian lad.
I haven't seen I'm
sure he's called Povetkin.
Alexander for Povetkin.
Yeah. Why? Povetkin. What am I doing here? Povetkin. I don't know how you spell his name. Just ignore me. Povetkin. Yeah, Dylan White. Povetkin. Last odds. Yeah. So move to avoid Champions League. Interesting. So it must be like is in play for the 15th of August.
I know Fury's built. Not Fury. Eddie Hearn's built a boxing ring in the back garden. So that would be
Has he?
Interesting, yeah. I think he's just trying to put some fights on in his back garden.
He just needs money, doesn't he? He's such a money man.
Eddie Hearn is a specialist when it comes to making big money fights. And I think the country definitely wants to see Fury versus AJ. It's probably going to be the biggest British boxing match of all time, isn't it, really?
Yeah, if they do it in both fights, if it's a 2-deal contract like they're on about, I hope at least one of them has to be in Britain. Has to.
Yeah.
Surely. If not both of them.
I think one for the US and then one for the UK, because I think Fury can attract the American audience because the way he's done it in his past couple of fights.
Yeah.
And I think AJ can as well, but
I think Fury might when he goes to America, if they go to America versus Anthony Joshua, I think Americans will be on Fury's side. Because I don't think Americans like Anthony Joshua.
No, I think Fury's built up a fan base in America. That's what he's done, and I think it's quite clever. But it'd be an interesting fight to see. I can't really call it because I think it'd be a close one. I think it'll go to the decision. Yeah,
that's the thing. Who's gonna be there on the night? I think that's going to be it. Who's going to be the person on the night? That's what it's going to go down to. I think. It's just interesting. Although I did really like the way Anthony Joshua went about defeating Andy Ruiz on the second time, where he was a bit more careful. He outboxed him, but can you outbox Tyson Fury?
No,
that was the question.
You can't. I'm going to answer that for you now. You can't. You can't outbox him.
Yeah, exactly.
Fury is the better boxer.
He is. And then you've got Chris Eubank wanting to fight Canelo Alvarez as well. Chris Eubank Jr., not the older one.
Chris Eubank Jr. Yeah.
I knew you were going to do that.
It's just Chris Eubank. I quite like Eubank. He's mainly because of his dad.
Did you see before lockdown his house got raided, didn't it? he's put on a Snapchat. I don't know if you follow him on Snapchat or not.
No.
His house got robbed basically, and he went in, stole some clothes, TV, shoes, stuff like that. But he went through and looked on his Snapchat, he videoing through, and he videoed this like jacket that was left on the floor, and he said, "You guys are so stupid." And then he picked up the jacket, and then in the pocket of the jacket was his £120,000 watch or something that they've left behind. So they literally went in, stole all these jackets, except for the one that's probably worth the most. Obviously, well, it is the worth the most because it had that watch in it. Yeah, I thought that was quite funny.
It's mental, isn't it?
Not the robbery isn't funny, but you know what I mean.
No, definitely. There's been some. No, the main reason I like Chris Eubank is just because I'm a celebrity and his time in there.
Yeah.
That was where I think I began to like know who he is. It's gone from there.
And Lady, what was it?
Lady C, yeah, Lady C was a character and a half. That was the best I'm a celebrity season I've watched, just for the drama that was in it. Simply because of the drama.
Yeah, that was a good
Lady
one.
C, Duncan Bannatyne and Tony just absolutely ripping into shreds every night. Pure British TV at its best.
Yeah, you can't get more British than that, really, can you?
No, it's just
unless let's say Piers Morgan was in with Noel Edmonds.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I think Piers Morgan is good TV, but some of the stuff he says is controversial, and I think some of the stuff he says is right. Some of the stuff he says is wrong as well.
He's very entertaining in my eyes, and I think he knows he's entertaining. That's why he does it. If you get me, he eats. No, he doesn't eat. He feeds off arguments.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
definitely feeds off arguments.
Definitely.
But if you're Piers Morgan and you've got the following, why not? Why not? If he likes doing it.
Exactly.
He wants to share his voice and shares the voice of his followers. Katie Hopkins is now banned from Twitter, isn't she?
That is the best thing I've seen come out of 2020 so far, is that Katie Hopkins has been banned from Twitter. The fact that I no longer have to see her tweets or her trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, she'll probably still trend on Twitter, but like I no longer have to see her opinions and views, and for me, it's great. And I can't wait.
I saw a video of her when she got banned, when she was on, I think, what show was it? This Morning or something.
Oh yeah.
With Phil, what's his name? Is it Phil?
Yeah.
The one that's just come out. Holly and Phil.
Philip Schofield.
He was saying, what? Yeah, why don't you like the names of like Brooklyn or like places like London, Paris? Why don't you like child's name like that? And she said, I don't think children's names should have like a location in them, sort of thing. But what if a child's called India?
Yeah. Mind blown at that. Like, how you don't like names that are related to geography, but your daughter is called India. Right.
Yeah, and then the other one's called Poppy or something.
Logic at its best.
Which is a flower.
Yeah. Logic at its best.
Oh God, just shut up, will you? And she's on about these people who, if like have a bad metabolism, should work out more, and it's their own fault for being lazy, sort of thing. And then Piers Morgan, I think it was Piers Morgan. Oh no, it was Chris Ramsey, maybe. I don't know. Was saying, well, people with more metabolism do exactly the same as people with better metabolism.
Yeah.
Does that? No, wait, less metabolism, but yeah, you know what I mean. So the bigger people with the worse metabolism is doing exactly the same, if not more, as these skinny people. It's just their metabolism isn't as good. And she's explaining, they're lazy, they need to do more than, it's just horrible. And she's like, shut up, man, they're not affecting you. Why are you bothered? You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's just weird. Leave them alone. This brings back the whole racism thing.
Yeah.
Just pack it in.
Katie Hopkins is probably the worst offender for being racist or abusive or offensive to someone.
Yeah, but the whole Marcus Rashford thing with the children's school meals. She's had something to say about that on Twitter. She said, why do I have to now pay my taxes towards children who shouldn't be born in the first place if people can't raise them, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Jeez. Calm yourself, man. But yeah,
disgusting, really.
People's
to see what
situations change.
Yeah, you can never tell what's going on in someone's
Rashford
life.
was on school free meals and stuff, wasn't he? And look at him now, multi-millionaire.
Doing bits. Right, so that's I That's our first podcast.
Yep.
Two Guys, One Podcast on Instagram if you want to follow. We'll have a Facebook page as well, and it's on YouTube, and this is where the podcast will be uploaded to.
Definitely, and look out for the Saturday ones, because we'll be doing sport. If you're into sport, UFC, fighting, football, not rugby, anything to do with sport on Saturday except for rugby.
We can't comment on rugby because we just don't watch it. So
I'm not a fan. No, I'm not a fan of rugby, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, stuff like that. We'll definitely talk about on Saturdays with some few guests. We'll get a couple of boys on, shall we, Shep?
Yeah, definitely.
Couple of boys, couple of beers. Try and make like a live podcast one day. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, ask any comment down below. Ask any questions you want to talk about, any topics, stuff like that. Give us a follow on Instagram. Messages on Instagram with topics. We'll be uploading Instagram soon. But yeah, stay in touch. Make sure you subscribe and like to the channel. Shepherd, anything else?
Just hope you give it a listen. It's 57 minutes long. Could be the best 57 minutes of your life.
It will be 50 something.
Yeah. So
depends really.
Just give it a listen. Yeah. Comment what you think about it. Any feedback is feedback at the end of the day. What we can work on. Yeah. Thank you very much for listening. And see you later. Thank you.